So we're going to be looking at differential calculus. We're looking at rules of differentiation. So these are the rules that you should know. The first rule is the constant rule. The derivative of a constant is 0. This one's very easy to remember. So for example, if you're asked, if you're told that g of x is equal to 12 and you want the derivative, it's going to be 0 for any number, decimal number, fraction. The derivative is 0. The next rule is the power rule. If g of x is equal to x to the power n, then if you want the derivative, this is it. You have n now comes to become the coefficient of x, and then the power becomes n minus 1. So for example, if you're given g of x is equal to x plus 7, and then you're asked to find the derivative, here the 7 comes in front, and then in front of the x it becomes a coefficient, and then we have 7 minus 1, which will be 6. So the answer will be 7 x to the power 6. The next rule is the derivative of a function multiplied by a constant. So if you have g of x there is equal to k, some constant multiplied by the function f of x, where k is a constant, then you get the derivative of f of x and then you multiply it by the constant. For example, here we're given that g of x is equal to negative 2x to the power negative 2. So we want the derivative. So we get the derivative of x to the power negative 2, which of course is going to be negative 2, and then to the power then negative 2 minus 1. Then you get the answer. Then you multiply it by the 2 there, you get 4x to the power negative 3. Next rule we have is the sum or the difference rule. So if you have g of x being equal to, say, f of x plus or minus, get the derivative of the f of x, and then you get the derivative of h of x, and then you just add them. So here we have, let's say g of x is equal to x to the power 4 plus negative 2 to the power negative x to the power negative 3. So the first one, of course, is going to be 4 x to the power 3 plus, then you get the derivative of the other one, which is the example that we did there, and then you just add them. Now let's look at some examples. So we're going to do 7.2.1. We have to find the derivative of f of x. We are given f of x there. So we're going to find the derivative of this first one, and then this one, and then we'll just add them. So the easiest way to do this would be to say negative 2 multiplied there by 3. So we're going to have negative 2 times 3. Let's put in bracket. Then we have x to the power n minus 1. So that is 3 minus 1. And then plus. Again, we do the same thing. 3 times 2 to the power x, 2 minus 1. And then we just simplify. This is negative 6 x to the power of 2 plus 3 times 2 is 6, and then 2 minus 1 is 1, and this is the answer. Now let's move on to 7.2.2. Again, we are asked to find the derivative of y with respect to x. Okay, so let's simplify the fraction there that we have. Okay, so 2x. We have the square root of 4x. So we can take the square root of 4. We know the square root of 4 is 2. And then the square root of x, of course, we will just leave it as it is. Then now we need to move this square root of x to the numerator. So the best thing to do would be to, sorry, there's a plus there, to change it to a, so we have 1 over 2 x to the power 1 over 2. Then if we move it up, it becomes x to the power negative 1 over 2. So now it's now in the numerator. So it's now in numerators moved up. And then this 1 over 2 is a constant. So take it as a constant. Take it like if it was just, let's say, 2, for example. And then, of course, we use the rules of differentiation. So now dy dx. Here, it's going to be 2 times 1. We do have a 1 there. And we have x1 minus 1, right? Plus, we're going to have, again, 1 over 2 times negative 1 over 2. Put in bracket. And then we have x to the power negative 1 over 2 minus 1. Now we'll just simplify this. We're going to have 2 x to the power 0. X to the power 0 is 1, so that's just going to be 2. Plus, use your calculator for this part. Have negative 1 over 4 x to the power negative 3 over 2. Now we just write it nicely. The answer is just 2. X to the power 0 we know is 1 minus or plus and minus, we'll just make minus 1 over 4 x to the power negative 3 over 2. And that will be the answer.